He went in again, couldn't get in because the strike was on.
Mm-hmm.
Being the strike was on, why he was a supervisor, so they couldn't back him up. He lost 26 years already. So that's what made it bad there. And so they gave him a job as a medical observer, and he had the kids that come from college, why he would teach it. Well, then they had to lay the youngest people that they had, and they laid Daddy off because he was. I said, he has 26 years. He lost that. He was going in as a new member again, so they laid him off again. Well, Savvy was Cookie went to the airlines, got a job in Detroit. So he made friends and lived with Savvy. So then, he stayed with them. So turn around, we decided, Savvy says, called us and said that there's a brand new mill opened up in Trenton, Michigan, and they don't know what to do with observing the steel. And he says, I think I got the best man in the world that can fix this up. And so he called, and Daddy went out and was with them then for a while. So I tried to sell our house, and a friend of ours, Basinger, said, don't worry. What does he do? He sends us a check for $9,500. A beautiful home. We thought maybe at least $20,000. And Daddy says, well, that'll be. Well, what else could we do? We couldn't fight with him. But that's how then we got there. And Cookie stayed with Dee and Savvy. They were real good to him. They stayed there, and the Cookie was watching them one day, and they had the twins, and she bought a 50-pound sack of flour, and she put it on the table, and Cookie's babysitting, so they were playing, and they got up on the table, they poked a hole in the flour, and then they hit that flour and then fly off. He come home, she says, what the heck's going on? Cookie says, I didn't even notice what they're doing. I don't know. She must have had a TV and they noticed. So that's how we got to Detroit. And then when we got there, Daddy one day after he was there, 10 years?
Well, he was at McLeod for a while, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then he went to work at Lafayette. So why did he leave McLeod? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Just.
But he before he started to work down in Phoenix.
No, I know, but
Lafayette.
No, I know, but why did he leave McLeod for Lafayette?
They turned around and he said he was going to get a job in Ohio. And this man, he got mad at Daddy. He says he saw Daddy's purse, and Daddy had an old crucifix in his purse, and he says, what the hell are you doing with that in your purse and wallet? And he says, what are you doing with it? He says, what do you mean? He says, we're Catholic. And I go, you're a Catholic. You didn't tell me you were a Catholic. He says, well, wait. So he made it hard on him. So he was going to try to get this in Ohio. They opened up a new factory. And so he heard about it, that he was going to go there. Turn around, when he came to work, there was no check there. He couldn't check in. And he says, what's wrong here? He says, I can't check in. He says, I don't know. Right down the way next morning, he says, we don't need you. He says, you go to your church, will give you a job. So that's how he lost it there. So then that's what we did. And from there.
Well, you went to work at Lafayette. We had the problem with how long did he work there?
Well,
3 years? 4 years?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And and then they were delivering everything to Japan, so that put them out of work.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
why he was out.